Awesome. All right. Thank you for joining me for a yoga and meditation class. My name is Holly. My pronouns are she, her. This is a floor-based class. You'll want a carpeted area or a yoga mat or both. And remember that you're your greatest teacher. So if at any time in class something does not feel good to your body, you can always take a different variation of a posture. You can do something else. You can skip it entirely. Yoga might be challenging at times, and that's okay, but we're never going to a point of pain or a point where we know we won't feel good after class. So we're going to start in a comfortable seated position. You can rock back and forth, side to side, roll your shoulders forward a few times, backward a few times, sit up nice and tall, relax your shoulders, and just take a nice easy breath here, in through the nose and out through the nose. And as we start to come into our yoga practice, right, bring your awareness to your breath. As you inhale, feel your body rise. As you exhale, feel your body fall. And this is a huge part of a yoga practice. Again, if at some point, an asana posture we're doing doesn't feel good, you can always just return to your breath and observe your breath. That's a wonderful place to be. Inhale and exhale. We're going to start with a kind of fun breathing exercise. You're going to inhale twice through the nose and then exhale through the mouth. And there's like an arm gesture that goes along with it. So I'll show it to you and then we'll try it together. You're going to first inhale through your nose and place your hands on your chest. Then you're going to inhale again through your nose and place your hands on your head. And then you're going to open your arms and go and sigh it out. So it'll look like this. We're just going to do that a couple times. Okay. So sitting up tall, you're going to seal your lips. Again, inhale twice through the nose, exhale through the mouth. Big, expansive, fun gestures with the arms. Here we go. A little faster. 3 more. Good. And float your arms down by your side. You might take a moment to close your eyes and just notice how that felt in your body. So for example, I feel like a little buzzy, maybe even like slightly lightheaded or tingly. You might feel something totally different. Through yoga, we're honing our interoception, right? Our self-awareness, our bodily awareness. And through yoga, we start to be able to name sensations better, like naming, like I feel this posture in my chest, or I feel tightness in my shoulder, but my hips feel relaxed, right? And as we start to be able to name bodily sensations, then we can maybe start to name like our emotions and thoughts and feelings a little bit better as well. Okay, you're going to open your eyes. Beautiful. We're going to start with some more gentle motion in the arms. Take an inhale through your nose, sweep your arms up and overhead, stretch up, palms together in prayer. Exhale through your nose, pull your hands through heart center like you're saying a little prayer. Good, arms down. We'll do that again. Inhale, arms up. Exhale through the nose, pull your hands through heart center. Gently press your palms together so the biceps engage. Good, inhale, arms up. Beautiful. Exhale, pull hands through heart center. Good. Place your hands outside of your hips. Keep your right hand outside of right hip. Keep in mind, I'm not mirroring you. And on your next inhale, sweep your left arm long and overhead for a side body stretch. You've got it. On your next exhale, place your left hand down by your side. Let's do the other side. Inhale through your nose, right arm up and overhead. Exhale through nose, right hand down. Good. Inhale, left arm up. Exhale, left hand down. Inhale, right arm up. Exhale, right arm down. Keep your sit bones on the floor. Last round. Inhale, lean to the right. Exhale, come back to center. Inhale, lean to the left. Exhale, come back to center. Good. Bend your left knee, kick your right leg out, bring it out a little bit further. Take your right hand outside of right thigh and bring your left arm long overhead. Option to stay here or bend your right elbow and place your right forearm on right thigh, coming down a little bit more. Notice if you start to lean way to the right, try to press down through your left knee and left hip. Good. Slowly come up to center, hands behind you, kick your left leg out, right leg in, and this time reach your right arm long overhead. So now we're getting a little inner thigh stretch as well as a spine and shoulder opener. Option to stay here or bend your left elbow and place left forearm on left thigh, coming down a little bit more. Good. Come back to center. Keep your left leg out, kick your right leg out. Come point your toes, flex your toes, maybe windshield wiper or draw circles clockwise and counterclockwise, working out the ankle joints. Flex your toes back a bit. And if you'd like, you can actually take your hands and pull your butt out from behind you. So you're sitting forward of your sit bones. Take an inhale, stretch up. Good. Exhale, fold hands to floor. Roll your shoulders back and down, look straight ahead. Think about lengthening your spine. Option to stay here or walk your hands a little bit further forward, deepening the stretch to the inner thighs. Good. Walk your hands back in, sitting up tall. Take your hands outside of your thighs, bring your knees together. And again, you can point your toes, flex your toes, windshield wiper your legs, draw circles clockwise and counterclockwise with your ankle joints. And then flex your toes back. And again, stick your butt out a little bit. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold. Depending on your body proportions, you might have your hands outside of your hips, your knees, your calves. If you have long arms and torso, or if you have a long torso like I do, you might even be able to catch your feet with your hands. But again, if you have longer legs and a shorter torso, hands by the hips will do the trick. Good. Push yourself up, come back to center. Great. And we're going to come onto our knees for a tabletop position. And a trick here, if you have tight knees, you can roll up your yoga mat a little bit so that there's extra padding under your knees. You can even just fold your yoga mat in half and then there's a little extra padding. Okay, so we're making a tabletop with our spine here. You want your knees and feet hip width distance, your hands shoulder width distance, wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. Spread your fingers wide, root down through all 28 knuckles and the space between your index finger and thumb so that you're not putting all of your body weight on your wrists. We're going to cat-cow. Inhale, lengthen the spine. And on your exhale, pull your abdomen in, round your spine like a cat, meow. Drop your head, chin to chest, push your knuckles into the floor, push the floor away from you. On your next inhale, cow pose, moo. You're going to drop your abdomen down, stick your butt up, roll your shoulders back and down, send your gaze up towards the ceiling. Let's do that again. Exhale through your nose, cat pose, meow. Pull the abdomen in, tuck your tailbone under, drop your head. Think about bringing ribs to hips, hips to ribs, belly button to spine. On your next inhale, cow pose, roll your shoulders back and down, lift your tailbone up, squeeze shoulder blade scapula together as you open through your chest. Good. One more round. Exhale into your cat pose, meow. So it's compression to the abdominal wall, extension to the spine, slide shoulder blade scapula apart. And as you're ready, inhale into your cow pose, extension to the front of the body, compression to the spine, squeeze shoulder blade scapula together. Good. Exhale into a neutral spine position. Keep your left hand on the floor. We're going to do some spine twist shoulder work. Take an inhale, reach your right arm up, look up. Exhale, right hand down to the floor. Good. We'll do the other side. Inhale, reach your left arm up, look up. Exhale, left hand down to the floor. Inhale, right arm up, look up, open through your chest. Exhale, right hand down to the floor. Inhale, left arm up, look up. Exhale, left hand down to the floor. This time we're going to thread the needle. Inhale, right arm up. Exhale, thread the needle, take your right arm underneath your left arm, right elbow to the floor. You got it. You can keep your left hand on the floor. You can also reach your left arm up towards the ceiling and drape behind you. Reach for your right thigh with your left hand. This is called a half bind. Perfect. Take a breath here. If your left hand is straight behind you for a bind, reach it up towards the sky. Place your left hand on the floor under your shoulder, close to your face. Push hand into floor. We're going to unthread the needle. Inhale, reach your right arm up, look up. Exhale, right hand down to the floor. Let's do the other side. Inhale, left arm up, look up. Exhale, thread the needle, left arm on underneath you, left shoulder to floor, left ear to floor. Try to keep your hips over your knees. Option to keep your right hand on the floor or reach it up, and then drape behind you, reach for your left thigh with your right hand. Take a breath here. If your right hand is straight behind you, reach it up towards the ceiling. Place your right hand down on the floor close to your face. Everybody together, unthread the needle. Inhale, left arm up, look up. Good. Exhale, left hand down to the floor. Great. I'm going to do a little bit of a balance challenge here. You're going to straighten your right leg back, flex your toes back. Option to stay here with your big toe on the floor or reach your right foot off the floor. Drop your right hip down, spiral your inner right thigh up so that your hips are in line. And from here, you can stay here or reach your left arm forward, thumb towards the ceiling, pinky towards the floor, shoulders out of the ears, neck long. Take a breath here. Good. Place your left hand down on the floor, right knee down on the floor, other side. Straighten your left leg. Flex your toes back. Option to keep the big toe on the floor or lift your left foot up. Try to square off the hips, so left hip down. And if you'd like, reach your right arm forward, pinky towards the floor, thumb towards the ceiling. Spread your fingers wide. Root down through your left knuckles. Take a breath. Good. Place your right hand down on the floor, left knee down on the floor. Bring your feet together, open your knees about mat width distance, and we're going to take a child's pose. Sink your hips back, reach your arms forward, forehead to floor, neck long. Take a breath. As you're ready, look forward, walk your hands in, press yourself up, sitting up and back onto your toes for a toe and ankle stretch. And if you'd like, you can either place your hands behind you and do a little back bend, or you can even try interlacing your fingers behind you and doing a little back bend. Squeeze shoulder blades, scapula together, look up and back. Good. Slowly bring your spine to a neutral position. If your fingers are interlaced behind you, uninterlace your fingers. If your mat is rolled up like mine is, straighten your mat. And then we're going to come onto our abdomen for some back strengthening work. Great. So you're going to lie on your abdomen. And we're going to start here with Sphinx pose. So with your feet about hip width distance, bend your elbows so that your elbows are underneath your shoulders. Hands and elbows about shoulder width distance. Drop the shoulders down. Lift the chest up, take a breath here. Slowly lower down. Walk your hands in underneath your shoulders for cobra pose. Spread your fingers wide, press your knuckles down, squeeze your glutes, press your feet into the floor and lift up. Keep your elbows bent this time. Good, elbows bent, elbows to hips, squeeze shoulder blades, scapula together. Keep your neck long, send your gaze up to the ceiling, push your feet into the floor. Good. Slowly lower down. This time you're going to take your arms in front of you, palms facing each other, thumbs towards the ceiling. Keep your feet about hip width distance. This is our superhero pose. Point your toes, squeeze your butt, look up and lift. So lift your feet and your hands off the floor. Keep your neck long. Imagine you have like a big beach ball in between your hands, right? And you're pushing that in. Good. Slowly lower down. Just take your arms out to the side for our airplane pose. Point your toes, squeeze your glutes, look up and lift. Palms face the floor, spread your fingers wide. Keep your feet about hip width distance. Point your toes, squeeze your glutes. Can you get one more rib off the floor? Maybe knees off the floor. Good. Slowly lower down. This time, take your arms behind you. So thumbs towards the floor, pinkies towards the ceiling, squeeze shoulder blades, scapula together, point your toes, lift your chest and legs off the floor. Good. Looking up, open through your heart space, lift your heart up. Good, and slowly lower down. Bring your big toes together, heels fall open, palms face the ceiling. Look to the right, left ear on your mat. Take a breath here. Good, and then gently lift your head. Look to the left, right ear on your mat. Take a breath here. Beautiful. Lift your head, look forward, put your hands on the floor underneath your shoulders, tuck your toes under, push yourself up, and we're going to hold a plank here because I know that you're eating pizza after this. You're going to hold a plank here. Let's take 3 slow breaths. Good. As you're ready, come down onto your knees, turn, lie on your back. Good. Okay. As you lie on your back, bend your knees so that your feet are on the floor. Keep your left foot on the floor. Cross your right ankle over your left thigh for supine figure 4. Option to keep your left foot on the floor or lift your left foot off the floor, hugging your thighs into your abdomen. And if you'd like, you can interlace your fingers behind your left thigh, your right thigh, or place your hands on the backs of your legs and pull down gently. This little hip opener, side seat stretch, and figure 4 is great for sciatic nerve pain, right? That nerve that goes from the lower back all the way down to the foot. You may or may not know this, but your sciatic nerve, like the nerve is about the size of your thumb. Like it's a really big nerve. And in this posture, we're stretching it out. Good. Release any grip you have from the backs of your legs. Return left foot to floor, right foot to floor, other side. Cross your left ankle over your right thigh. Lift your right foot up. Interlace your fingers behind your right thigh. Pull down. Shoulders and hips down. Take a few slow breaths here. Good. Return your right foot down, left foot down. Happy baby. Lift both feet off the floor. Flex your toes back. Lots of options. You can grab the backs of your hamstrings, your knees. You can also grab the outsides of your feet with your hands and gently rock right and left, rolling out your back. And if you'd like, as you roll to the right, you can try straightening your right leg, stretching the inner thigh, and then come back to center, bend the right knee, roll to the left, straighten your left leg, come back to center, bend the left knee, and then we'll hold here. Flex the toes back, draw the knees down towards the floor, outsides of the ribs. Release any grip you have on your feet or your hands, or your legs. Place your hands outside of your knees, bring your knees, feet together. Take your arms out to the side. You can also bend your elbows, cactusing them like goalposts. And as you're ready, we're going to roll to the left so that the right hip stacks on top of left hip. Try to keep your right shoulder on the floor. You can keep the back of your head on the floor or look to your right away from your knees for a full spine twist. If you're looking to the right, roll your head back to center. Then bring your right hip to center, other side, roll to the left. Pardon me, roll to the right, other side. You know what I'm saying? Left hip stacks on top of right hip. Try to keep your left shoulder on the floor. You can keep the back of your head on the floor or look to the left. I've learned to accept that lefts and rights will never be my strong suit as a yoga teacher, and I am okay with that, right? Yoga gives us the tools to acknowledge both our strengths, our weaknesses, our opportunities for growth, gives us the tools to address those opportunities, and it also gives us the tools to be okay with, you know, certain things, for example, lefts and rights that might never be our strong suit. That's okay. If you're looking to the left, bring your head back to center, then roll your left hip back to center. Lift your head off the floor. Give yourself a big hug here. You can even like wrap your arms around your knees, tuck your chin to your chest, bring your forehead towards your knees, take an inhale, tense everything up. When you're ready, open your mouth, exhale, release your arms and legs down into your savasana. You can close your eyes, open your arms and legs as much or as little as you'd like. Take a nice, easy breath in through the nose. If it feels good, out through the mouth. Inhale. Anything you'd like to let go of. Sigh it out. Last one, breathe in. Whenever you're ready, let it all go through the exhale breath. There's many limbs of yoga, and you know what we traditionally associate with yoga, at least in the United States, is the postures, right? The asanas, or the breathing exercise, the pranayamas. But another limb of yoga is meditation, and we're going to dig into that limb here. You're welcome to continue to lie on your back for your meditation, or if you'd like, you can mindfully roll off to one side. And at your own pace, press yourself up into a comfortable seated position. I'm realizing I forgot one thing, so I'll be right back. Did this last week too. Okay, So as we're getting settled, you're going to find yourself in a comfortable seated position or laying down position. And as we're getting settled, I'll just share, my favorite definition of meditation is compassionate mind control, um, which is to say we're observing our thoughts. We're starting to learn how to, recognize patterns in our thoughts and feelings and maybe disrupt them. But we're also being really compassionate about it, right? And in your meditation, right, if you notice that your mind is wandering, you can compassionately bring yourself back to the present moment. And I'll also share that sometimes in a meditation, our mind just wants to wander, and like that's okay too. You can be compassionate if you have a more expansive meditation practice today. So we're going about this without judgment or expectation. There's no such thing as a good meditator or a bad meditator. There are simply people who meditate and people who do not. So for the sake of today, you are meditating, right? You're here, enjoy. We're now going to start to settle into our meditation a little bit more. You're welcome to close your eyes, or you might keep your eyes open and do a soft fuzzy gaze beyond the tip of your nose. Or you might focus on something in your periphery that feels really neutral, right? Like maybe a fleck in your carpet or something like that. Okay. Now going to light a candle as a symbolic gesture that we're entering into a more intentional space. Being intentional with our breath, intentional with our body movements, intentional with our thoughts and feelings. So much of our day and our lives are spent running around and, kind of processing something that happened earlier today or thinking about something that might happen this weekend. It's very rare that we get the opportunity to be just here in our bodies and our breath in the present moment. And in that spirit, I'd like to give us a minute simply to be still and breathe. You might reflect back on how that minute felt. Again, there's no right answer here. Sometimes in a meditation practice, I might feel bored or anxious, or I wonder if I'm doing it right. Sometimes I feel really peaceful or relieved. Sometimes I don't feel much at all. Sometimes I notice that my mind keeps going back to, like a task or something that happened earlier in the day. And again, this is just compassionate mind control, and we're also just giving ourselves an opportunity to observe our thought patterns and our feelings as they pop up without the need to explain them or assign judgment, like it's good that I felt peaceful or it's bad that I felt bored, right? We're just observing. And through meditation and a constant meditation practice or a consistent meditation practice, you might also really start to notice thought patterns come up. And that can be useful, right? Just to be aware of that. We're always thinking, always feeling, right? But many of us are not fully conscious of what exactly we're thinking about or how we're feeling. So I'll just give us another minute here just to be still and enjoy our own company. Our thoughts and our feelings are like clouds. Sometimes they pass quickly, sometimes they linger all day. Sometimes they're gray and stormy. Sometimes they're white and fluffy. We try to make shapes or even meaning out of them. It's important to remember that you are not the clouds, you are the sky. And as we begin to observe a little bit more our thoughts and our feelings passing through us, be a little bit easier to recognize how much bigger we are than our thoughts and our feelings. You might reflect back on a feeling that you've had at one time that felt so real and so deep, whether it was sadness or anger or like deep joy. I just invite you to think of a time in your life again where you felt like deep joy or gratitude, or you were scared, right? Or you were angry. It's your choice. Um, but just bringing yourself back into that emotion and what it felt like. Notice maybe where you feel it in your body. Is it in your chest, in your hands, in your jaw, in your hips? There's no right answer. What parts of your body feel tight? What parts of your body feel relaxed or loose? And bring yourself back into your body in this moment, letting that feeling go. Remember that all feelings pass, right? The really joyful ones, the high highs, and the hard ones, the low lows. They're all passing through us. If we can acknowledge that here, it can be a little bit easier to appreciate the good times outside of our meditation practice. And also when we're having hard times, remember that those also pass, like clouds in the sky. Next, you might think back to a belief that you once held, but maybe you no longer have today. Something that you knew to be true or you really believed with all of your heart. Notice how that felt in your body. You feel it in your chest, in your thighs, and your shoulders. Thinking back, holding this belief in your heart, what feels tense or tight, or what feels loose and relaxed. And then bringing yourself back into the present moment, relax your body. Take a moment to acknowledge that some of the things that I might hold to be true in this moment probably change in the future. Same way that our feelings are impermanent, our thoughts are also impermanent. Now bring to your mind's eye a relationship that you had with another person that may have changed over the years. It could have been an old teacher, right, who you since realized maybe was wrong about something. It could be a friend who you still hold dearly in your heart, but you've grown apart, or you moved away from each other. But bring to mind a person who once held a certain role in your life who no longer holds that role. And as you hold this person in your mind's eye, right, you might observe what you're feeling in your body. And where you're feeling it in your body. Now take a moment to send this person some loving kindness, even if your relationship has changed. Thank them for the role that they played in your life. And then let them go and come back into your breath, back into your body, back into the present moment, and relax. Now reflect on the most important relationship you have in your life, which is the relationship with yourself. Think back to an aspect of a relationship with yourself that has changed. Could be a limiting belief about yourself, or a habit that you might have had that you no longer participate in. Could be good, could be bad, could be neutral. And as you think back to a part of a relationship with yourself that has changed, just bringing yourself back to what it used to be, notice what you feel in your body and where you feel it in your body. You might notice if the habit or relationship with yourself that has changed was something that you perceive as negative or even shameful. You might notice if feelings of shame or negativity are coming up. And I encourage you instead to turn towards compassion. All of our habits, even the ones that maybe doctors say aren't good for us or whatever, all of our habits are ultimately survival mechanisms and brought you to this point. And one of the beautiful parts about the impermanence of our lives and our own power in our own lives is that we can change, and we do change. So if you happen to have chosen, a limiting belief about yourself or a habit that was not healthy for you that you've broken, rather than judging that, I encourage you to look on that with compassion and a memory that, sometimes something serves us for a while, even if it doesn't in the present moment, and that's okay. we can still be kind towards ourselves, loving towards ourselves. Thank yourself for the ways that you've changed and grown, even when it wasn't easy or it was scary or you weren't sure what came next. You're here now. So come back into your breath, back into your body, back into the present moment. Let go of that old relationship that you had with yourself. You might think now to current feeling that you're having in this moment. Again, it might be peace or relief or anxiety, right? Or boredom, sadness, joy. Maybe you just feel kind of neutral. Just observe what it is you're feeling in this moment. And remember that this moment will also pass. There will be plenty of joys and sorrows, and bored times and anxious times and curious times to come. Now, you might think to a belief that you hold about the world in this moment, something that you know to be true. And acknowledge that this belief will probably change over time as well. It might intensify or lessen, or you might just start to have a slightly different relationship with a worldview or a thought. Now think about a relationship that you're in right now with a loved one, with a friend, a teacher, a mentor, colleague. And remember that this relationship will also change and grow over time. Not necessarily for better or for worse, it just will. Now bring your attention to the relationship that you currently have with yourself. And remember that this too will change. Impermanence is a fact of life. In Buddhism, the term is anicca. And in meditation, we learn that as we become a little bit more accepting of impermanence, a little less attached to holding on to exactly as things are right now, a little bit more open to change, becomes a little bit easier to embrace change, or at least see it as a neutral thing rather than particularly bad or particularly good. You can inhale through your nose, feel your body rise. Exhale, body fall. Let that breath go. That's a unique breath that you'll never get back, right? On the one hand, the present moment, inhale. The present moment is fleeting. Exhale. It's not something we can be in all the time. When we take time to meditate and sit in the present moment and acknowledge both the past and the future while still being here in our bodies and our breath, it becomes a lot easier to navigate all of the inevitable changes, right? For better, for worse. It just becomes another fact of life. Take an inhale, feel your body rise. Exhale, body fall. Breathe in and let this moment go. You are so very alive. You're welcome to stay in this meditative state. Otherwise, I will count us down from 3, at which point you can move or make any gestures that tell you that you're shifting gears. Inhale. Let it go for 3, 2, 1. I'm now going to blow out this candle as a symbolic gesture that our intentional meditation time is ending. I'm letting the very real smoke clear the air as a reminder that when we take time to sit and to be in the present moment, we very much change our relationship with the very real world around us. Thank you for joining, friends.